Welcome to the Low and Slow podcast.
We're your girls, Crystal and Laken. If you press play today, trust, you made the right decision.
And know whenever you're listening to this, it's exactly the right time.
We invite you to pull up a seat to the conversation, get curious about your current perspective,
and lean in for the opportunity to see yourself in another woman's story.
We created That Girl Magic because we've been where you are.
Here, the talk is real and the breath is steady.
Let's get into your next mindset shift. Welcome back to the Low and Slow podcast. We're so excited for you guys to be tuning in today because we have one of our wonderful coaches, Drea, with us. And we're just going to be getting into you guys meeting her and just welcoming her into That Girl Magic. What we got for Drea today?
Yeah, we are very, very excited as the team continues to grow, and we are getting quite the collection of badass lady coaches up in here, and I'm very, very excited about that. So we want to make sure that we highlight Dre's debut to the TGM team for all the listeners out there, and just get you guys a chance to get to know her a little bit better, and her to tell her story. And so we'll kick it off from there. So Dre, I want to give you the opportunity to kind of, give us a little intro, but not like the elevator pitch, right? Like tell us the real stuff. Give us some of the tea. Like, what's the real version? If you were just, talking to some friends of a girlfriend at the hangout.
The real version of who Dre is. I've been
not the polish shit.
Not the polish, yeah. Well, as soon as we start talking about the mindset side of things, that's where it's all going to come unraveled, I'm sure. But, I've been in the CrossFit space for 15 years, and that has largely been a big part of my identity. And coming out of that space has been a journey of rediscovering, who is Dre without CrossFit? Who is Dre without her gym? Who is Dre without all the things? And I can easily say, well, I'm a wife and I'm a mom, and those are the most important roles that I have. But it's a lot of rediscovering, what do I like to do? What are the things that I enjoy? I love working out. That's I will always be a CrossFitter. But moving away from that, what are the things that I like to do that don't involve going to my boys' baseball games or my husband's baseball games? Because that's been the world that I've been in for so many years, or going to a CrossFit comp or coaching class. And so I'm rediscovering who I am and what I enjoy, and learning that I like peace and rest and quiet time. And that's something that I haven't had a lot of over the last 15 years. So yeah, I'm learning a lot.
I think so many women can resonate with that journey.
Yeah. I love that you just own that too. I'm rediscovering who that is. Because I know who I've been, and now it's oh my goodness, this gets to be a whole new chapter, and who do I want to be now?
Yeah.
And so often it's who am I as it relates to others, right? Women do that all the time. Who am I as it relates to mostly dependents, right? All these people that rely on me in some capacity, or that I provide something for. Not to say that men don't do that, they do. But I think that because of that nurturing side, and also culturally, what we're taught, it's, well, who am I based on what I give to other people? And being blessed in a season or a transition phase where you're able to start to ask the question of who am I in the way of what I give to myself, right? That's such a beautiful part of the journey. And I think that's something that a lot of women can relate to. And it's something that's historically, I think, foreign, that now more than ever, a lot of women are coming to the reality of what now? You know what I mean? So I think that's really, really cool. When it comes to the work that we do, right? What was it about mindset for you? And obviously we can call this a variety of different things, but when did it go beyond becoming just a buzzword for you, right? What did it shift for you that was felt?
Here's the tea. This is where it all, this is my crew. It's funny how I stepped into my mindset journey. 13 years into affiliate ownership, I hadn't asked for help. Very, very classic me. Like, I'm going to do this all on my own. I'm going to figure it out. I don't need help. I don't need ideas. I would brainstorm with my husband, but no, I got this. And then at the 13-year point, I'm like, maybe I just need a little bit of help. And so we hired Best Hour, and it was great. But the most rewarding part of that was the mindset program. Mm-hmm. And so as soon as I learned that they had it, I'm like, oh yeah, like I can totally, like, the performative side of me, right? I can check that box. I'm going to be really good at that. And it's going to be great. I'll breeze through that. And Joel Cochran is the mindset coach on that side of things. And I think we were maybe 15 minutes into the first call, and the language game we played was, how can I ever get over? And I instantly started bawling, just crying. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, first of all, this is what I signed up for. And second, like, it made me pause. I had just lost my dad the year before. And in that season, the year that it took me between my dad's loss and to ask for help in the business, I think I completely lost myself in that journey. And became the caretaker. I was taking care of my mom. I was trying to fumble my way through the business and try to stay afloat with everything there. And so in that moment, I was like, oh, I haven't even processed this. I haven't allowed myself to feel any of this. I have been so on the go. So as soon as he had us write, how can I ever get over? I was like, the first thing that came to mind was the passing of my dad. Mm. And that opened up a door to me that, was mind-blowing and transformative. And it was early into that journey with Joel. I don't even think I had signed up for his proclivity program yet. And I was like, this is what I want to do. This is my next path. This is my future, was really what the shift was at that point.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure you resonate a lot with that of like, I'm in a space, right? Now I see this and this is what I want that to be. Like, gosh, I know that I think we can all speak to like when we were first introduced to this. It's like, I could just see that this was a whole new world. Yes. Mm-hmm. Cue Ariel, right? And it was like, I think so often we think it's this one moment, but you never woke up one day like, I'm going to be a mindset coach. Like, no, but you have that reference point of like what that day felt like in yourself, and that it gave you like opened up a whole new door of possibilities.
Yeah. Yeah. It was the first clue into getting real with myself. I don't think I had ever really allowed myself to truly be vulnerable and share that intimacy, those feelings and what was really going on at my core, the true me, the broken me. I always did such a good job of disguising that. And, don't worry about me. What do you need right now? Let me take care of you. You don't need to know my story. And to allow myself to walk through that journey and be supported and uplifted by a coach who came alongside in the community that I was within to lift you up in those moments where you're sobbing because you're finally sitting with some stories that you haven't allowed yourself to face,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that weren't non-existent, that weren't going anywhere, right? It's just like we do a really good job of just like shoving them beneath a bunch of other responsibilities and things that are more action oriented.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I love what you said about recognizing that this is not something that you thought that you needed or was even really in your awareness at the time. I think that's so common. And, a goal of ours and something that I've talked with Adam and Mark about too is like, I really want mindset to become mainstream. People want it to be called something different. People want they want to understand it better, right? Because they can't put it in this box that feels comfortable or identifiable. And it's not going to be, because it encompasses so many other things. And ideally, how dope will it be down the road when it's like, oh, there are little girls saying that they want to be a mindset coach. Mm-hmm. Like they want to work with women in that way. And I speak specifically to working with women. Obviously, this is not work that's exclusive to women. It's just the direction that we've taken it in and where we feel like we've been able to make the most impact. But how amazing will that be, to see that ripple effect over time is amazing.
Or even that it's like, wouldn't be like shameful. Like think about like before mindset work, like, and everyone thinks what mindset is like therapy, right? And like how like you don't talk about your shit. You don't air out these stories. You don't, talk about family dynamics or anything like that. And it's like to know that when like this is moving more mainstream and it's an avenue that you can use a lot of different tools in your tool belt within this work. And I think it just shows where it's like there's other avenues other than what has just been like previously told to us, right? And like you can start to get curious about the reality that you're creating through obviously the power of your words, your minds, your story, all the thing. And I think that's really cool, like just with what we do with women, where we are taking them into a whole new world. We're taking them back into their world before, like, who were they before they became this version of themselves? So it's super cool.
The version that got out of touch. When it comes to how you apply your personal philosophy to your work and kind of your coaching style, right? What patterns do you see over and over again in the women that you work with? Like, where do you feel like you see the stuck points the most?
I resonate so largely with the clients that I'm currently working with now, because so many of the women that we're seeing are women in my age group facing that story of perimenopause. And, I used to describe it a lot as, we're stepping into this almost like an insult in our lives, because our bodies are changing, and often in ways that we don't love and enjoy and understand. And we have children who are leaving our home. And so we're navigating the loss of self and identity. We're losing our children to, it's amazing. And it's so rewarding to see your children leave the home and move on and become independent, but they're still lost there. And then many of us are facing aging parents and what goes along with all of that. So I see a lot of stories of grief. And it's not just about grief of a loved one, but grief of maybe a life that they had before, or the person that they were before. The loss of identity is so common. Like, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I enjoy anymore. We get to this stage in life, late 40s and 50s, and we're like, how do I not know who I am and what I enjoy? And really, truly, it's a very interesting journey. Like, you see a lot of women who feel lost and then fearful of what their future looks like. And of course, the common, I'm not enough. I think that it's layered into almost every woman's journey that I've worked
and
with.
Every season, right? Isn't that wild how it's like, I'm still attached to this fucking belief that I'm not enough. And it came up when I was, 4, 8, 10, 13 years old, right? And it's like, it keeps showing up in every season. It's so interesting.
100%. Yes.
When you think about these women and these common threads, right? It's like when they first start working with you and you're peeling back the onion, what does she usually think her problem is? And what do you usually find underneath it?
In this particular group of clients that we work with, the number one thing they come to me with is, I just need to lose a little bit of weight. I just need to make a little bit of progress or have my clothes fit a little bit better. And, that's the source of the problems. Or that repeating, I start and stop, or I've gained and lost the same X number of pounds over and over again. So if I can stop that cycle, everything will be better. And it's never just about the weight. It's the story that they told themselves about what that number on the scale meant, or the story that they've carried from childhood. I had a client today that, the words that her grandma probably told her mom, and then the same phrases and words that her mom told her are the same phrases and words that she tells herself now. And, interrupting that pattern is so important. But, that generation didn't recognize how detrimental those words were and how much we held those close to our heart. And those words shaped our identity. And, it's it's incredible to hear just different variations of that same story, woman after woman after woman, and to see it myself. I have the same stories. I identify and I resonate with the stories that they're telling me as well.
Yeah. It's wild to see that, like, and it's always this light bulb that goes off. And I actually love this when I see this with a client where it's like, oh my God, my mom said this to me. Her mom said it to her. And then when they stopped saying it to me, who continued? And they're like, oh my God, me. Right. And it's like, we don't, until we like zoom out and actually like, because they've heard it so often, it's like, oh, okay, that's normal. But then we've adopted it. And then it's like a lot of times when they're now the mother, they're like, well, I want to get this in check because I don't want this to, affect my daughter. Right. Or I don't want this to like be passed along. And it's like, yeah, that interrupt is so interesting. And I think when we resonate with, we say all the time, like this work, we are helping women because we understand what it's like to also have a story that's like that, right? And to see yourself in another woman's story. Is there one story in particular, or not like a client in particular or anything like that, but like something current to what, like where you're at now, of where you really see yourself and resonate with what's coming up for these women, like one area in particular?
Yeah, the caretaking role.
Yeah, like the archetype, like which archetype? That's a better way.
Yeah, that caretaking role of, and I saw it so largely with the passing of my dad, that need to step in automatically. And like, I'm the oldest sibling. And, it was that need to step in and take care of everybody else. And, regardless of what I need, I got to take care of my boys. I got to take care of my sister. I got to take care of my mom. And we're just running on empty and expecting ourselves to continue to be successful and produce and run the business or be successful in our jobs and be a good parent and all the things, and never giving ourselves the space to refill our cup. Never giving ourselves the space to rest. I'm reading a book. Well, I shouldn't be reading a book right now. I've got other things I've got to do. Let me occupy my time and space with things. But really, if you look at the big picture, I'm really not getting anything productive done. I'm just spinning my wheels and learning that, hey, we don't have to take all of this on independently. We can ask for help. We can reach out to other people to support us, and we can accept that love. That was really difficult for me. And it still actually is, to accept that somebody's going to come along and support me and cheer me on and rally behind me, that I'm not the one that has to be the person that's doing that for them.
Mm-hmm. I think that goes along with not only, common stories that come up, but when it comes to the way that people perceive mindset or mindset coaching, there's a lot of fluff in the space, right? Of, well, just think positive, or no, we're going to reprogram your subconscious, or, shit like that. And what do you believe is the worst or the most common preconceived notion that's working against women coming into this work?
That they've already done the work. Like, I've already come in, I say positive. That's a common thing I hear. I don't talk negatively to myself, or I tell myself positive things. I don't have any stories that I need to work on.
That's dealt with that.
Yeah. And, truth be told, when I stepped into this space, not knowing what it was, thinking I was going to check a box, that was my story. I don't have anything to work on. Like, I'm great. I'm a positive person. I'm
successful. I'm doing the things I want to do. Like, there's no problem.
I'm blessed, right? I have my husband, my home, my kids, all the things. I'm so blessed.
And even on that side of things, right? I'm blessed, but it's also okay to have stuff that we need to work on. And for whatever reason, I didn't feel like I didn't feel like both of those could be true at the same time.
Yeah, that they could coexist, like, which is like part of the permission, right? Of like, it's the duality that, it's admitting that there's some shit that has affected me. And like, now I get to take ownership and do something about that. But when like this week was working with a client and everything now maybe is fine, but she has all these feelings that are coming up from shit 25 years ago. And it's like, well, why am I feeling like this? I just want to feel happy like I used to. Right. And it's like, gosh, it's also the permission to just like, even if things are not like that right now, that doesn't invalidate what did happen before that you have unprocessed.
Right. Permission to feel. Permission to feel the shit. I mean, it was it was really that I just banked them away and stuffed them down and pushed all the things away so that I didn't have to feel them, because I didn't think that I deserved the time or space to be able to sit in it, you know?
Yeah, that's huge. Like you're not allowed to process it.
Yeah. Where do you feel, Dre, like, and as we're talking about this of like emotions, like permission to feel, I think it's so often of what like a misconception of like what it means for a woman to be strong, right? And I know you guys are both like CrossFitters, all the things, right? But
I'm a retired CrossFitter.
Yeah, I understand. But I'm saying that world, right? Like, where do you, now that you've done this work, find yourself, like, do you find strength and vulnerability, or like how have you redefined strength from how maybe you used to see it?
Strength originally to me was, I don't ask for help. I don't need to talk about my story. I can shove all the things down and pretend that everything is good. That equals me being strong. I'm going to take care of everybody else because that equals me being strong. Even in this transition of retiring our business, being able to say, no, that's not what I want to do. The guilt that went along with that originally, I'm like, I don't have anything that I need to feel guilty about. This is a choice. I'm choosing me and I'm choosing my family, and that's okay. I deserve to make that choice. That is strength now. Being vulnerable enough to share the stories and the reasons behind it, to talk about losing my dad with others and not feeling like, oh, that's not emotion that I want to share with somebody. And knowing that strength means that I can share my story and somebody else might be able to see themselves in that story and see that like there is an alternative to what I'm feeling right now. And there is a path through this. And on the other side, it does look a little bit better than maybe where I'm sitting right now.
That part.
Yeah. This work is not easy to do on yourself, right? Even when you teach it. I would say actually, especially when you teach it or when you facilitate it, because you know what you're getting yourself into going in, and you know how deep you can go if you choose it, right? And outside of, and it may be adjacent to or in tandem, but outside of, the initial surprise of what happened when you started going there with the story around your dad, what other work that you've done on yourself, with yourself, or even with another coach, right, has genuinely surprised you, or maybe something that you didn't see coming that you were like, oh shit, there's that too?
Gosh, I mean, 40 some years of layers of stories, I think starting out initially, it was the story around my dad and working through that. And then stemming back into even more uncomfortable stories of my 20s and doing batshit crazy stuff that I'm like, God, I wish I could just take all of that away, and never really being able to face the truth or sit in that. Like, it was easier to be the victim in those stories than to take ownership for some of those stories. So the growth that happened there, Mark, getting into Mark's work with the Enlifted program was very coach focused while still working on our stories. But I'm really, really grateful that coming into this space, I did my own work first. I spent time there because it allowed me to really grow as an individual, as a mom. The way that I parent now is very different from when I parented my older boys. The conversations that my husband and I have learned to have with each other after doing this work. I mean, there is not an area of my life that has gone untouched in these methods. And there's not necessarily like a direct through line of like, Joel helped me with this and Mark helped me with this. it was just this steady, gradual willingness to go back into stories and peel back those layers and continue to dig deeper and allow myself to do the work and to feel the feelings and come to the opposite side, knowing that when I put that story back on the shelf, I actually have a more organized process story versus this jumbled box of shit that's falling all over the place.
Yeah. Isn't it, it's when it's like self-selected, right? And I think this is the difference between when our clients choose to continue on, right? It's like when I know what I'm potentially getting into, right? And I'm choosing it. I'm surrendering to this process. It's what is available to you in that is so beautiful. And to be able to say like, oh, I'm willingly going there. That's when it gets to have this big ripple effect. That's when it gets to, touch all these places in your life, like you were mentioning. That's amazing. In that process, a big thing that we focus on a lot is the idea of self-trust, right? Of like women coming back to their intuition, of being able to be aligned with their own inner truth of like, can I keep promises to myself? Can I trust myself? Can I listen to my intuitive hits? Mm-hmm. Where is doubt coming up the most, right? Where am I trying to outsource my belief? Mm-hmm. For you personally, where is an area that you used to doubt yourself a lot or that you didn't necessarily trust yourself with yourself? And where has that shifted for you?
Interestingly enough, even though I didn't ask for help with the business, that was a really strong point for me. There would be interactions from time to time with people that didn't sit right. I always feel like I've had a good ability to read people and connect with people very well. And there would be these moments where something just didn't sit right. And I wouldn't allow myself to listen to that nagging voice in my head. And so I'd go along with, a higher or whatever the case was in that particular story. And then it would always come back and I would say, I knew better. I knew that wasn't the right choice. And I went ahead and went along with it because, my husband is the best, but he'd be like, Drea, I don't think I think you're just reading into it. And I'm like, I'm not reading into it. I feel this very, very strongly. And as time has gone on, I think he's even learned like, her intuition is telling her that this isn't right. Let's go ahead and pay attention to that because we've seen it play out over the years of like, oh yeah, when she feels that something's a certain way, we need to listen to that. She can trust that. I can trust that now. And now he kind of follows suit and like, yeah, she's probably 90% right in whatever that decision is. So we're going to go with that direction. That's where I noticed it the most. But even just recognizing, when somebody's feeling a little off, I can sense that really well. And so being able to offer a little extra support in that moment, that I still, at my core, that's who I am and that's who I will always be. And it's the best part, I think, of me and can also be my greatest weakness. But it does allow me to come along and serve and support others in the way that I do. And I think it's been the gift that I've been given, over the years.
I love that. Like as you strengthened your relationship to your intuition, it's like, then God, that your husband's like, yeah, she knew, like I could trust that then too. Right. And it's like, I don't know. I think whenever I think about a woman's intuition, it's like, yeah, the man may be like the head, right? But like we're the neck, like we have something within us that like we can't explain. And if we have that relationship with that and that muscle is like worked and, it's online for us, then it's like, yeah, like that is for our kids, for whoever, for clients we work with, for our husband, whatever. It's like, that's special. I love that.
Yeah. Being able to trust this transition was important. That they came down to a lot of trusting my gut. Is this the right time to close the doors? Is this the right time to make this big pivot in my life and make this shift? And, for the first time, I trusted that I was making the right decision. I have not at one point doubted that this was the right decision for me and for the family. And that feels really freaking good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so many women struggle with that, right? When they're on like a precipice of a big decision and there's all these opinions swirling, and it's very, very easy to what if, all these worst case scenarios. And I think that, it's funny that you say that, because I've been having a lot of conversations with clients recently about, okay, well, if you were to be really honest with yourself, like what would you do for you?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like if you weren't worried about what was going to be the outcome and how it was going to affect anybody else, like what would yourself be telling you to do? Like what would the version of you that you're working towards, what would she want,
Yeah.
And I think being able to access that part of ourselves is a journey in and of itself for most women, and something that we've kind of fallen out of touch with.
Yeah, because it's like, who are we without the fear, without the worry, without the opinions of others, without the judgment, shame, guilt, whatever we want to say? It's like can we start to, I don't know, not so much question our emotions, but just hold space for them and see them as signals where it's like, God, if worry and fear wasn't on the table, I could actually just trust what was coming up in that moment. Like, God, what a concept. Fuck.
Right. Yes.
But also seeing it as data, right? It's like, okay, well, there is no bravery without fear, right? Like when I overcome this, not if, but when I overcome it, I get to clock that. I get to clock that data. It's like, yeah, I did that thing. Right. And then I can take the next step. I think that's so powerful, but it's like we allow ourselves to be in this freeze response. And I'm like, okay, well, you can sit in this familiar spiral of hell, and it might feel quote unquote safe, but miserable. Yes. Or you can take any action, and whether it's the right one or not, you're going to learn something from it either way. Right. So it's either going to work out or you're going to learn something about yourself. Right. Like if you look at it that way, there is no lose.
Right. And that fear of failure holds so many people back. It's a cage. It's a jail. Mm-hmm. I'm afraid I'm going to fail. And learning that you're never going to fail. It's just a learning experience. You're adding to your bank of knowledge. And if we could get more comfortable with that perception and that possibility of, okay, maybe, but what's on the other side? What if I just succeed? Mm-hmm. What if I don't fail and I succeed? We never give ourselves that option. Yeah. And that's a very common thing in stories as well, is, well, I feel like I'm failing. I feel like I'm not successful. What if I make this decision and it's the wrong one? Well, you made the decision, and it's going to be okay. It's all going to be okay.
Yeah. It's like very rarely is something not figure outable.
Right. Right.
Yeah. When you think about the work that you do with these women, what is your favorite thing that happens? Like either the favorite outcome or the favorite realization or the favorite moment?
My favorite moments are when they realize that they are capable of so much more than what they've allowed themselves to be up to that point. And then not only do they realize that they're capable of it, but they take steps into that path. And this would be more the clients that I've worked with on my own that I've seen through longer journeys. But seeing them open the business or pursue a hobby that turned into a business, or, create these amazing, I have a woman who created a nonprofit, and that is just expanding into something way bigger and richer than what she even thought was possible. And being able to clear out the stories that were holding her back so that she could step into who she truly is and what she's capable of, and mm-hmm. fully believe and embrace that is incredible, because she will also be helping women. And so it's really rewarding on the opposite side to see them living their full potential, enjoying the life that they have, and looking in the mirror and liking themselves again. It's a hard place to look in the mirror and not like who you are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We know that you are currently going through your L3, which is so exciting. Give me a timeline of like, okay, we decided to transition. We're going to close the business and I'm going to, right, like before you found us, like, right, you committed to L3 and then like how aligned did this feel for you when you came into our world?
Oh my gosh. All the pieces fell together perfectly. I couldn't have asked for things to have fallen together any better than what they did. And it goes back to day one with the mindset work. I think if I were really honest with myself and had allowed myself to trust myself 2 years ago when I hired the business coach, it wasn't really because I wanted to continue to pursue this. I think at that point in time, I knew really that I was wanting to shift. Mm-hmm. And I spent the time working with Joel. I knew really early in, this is what I want to do. I saw the impact he had on my life. I knew that I had the ability to connect and relate really well with people. People generally liked to share their stories with me. Like as a nutrition coach, it's never just about nutrition. And so we would get into heavier stories with clients then. And so I knew this is what I want to do. This is what my future is going to look like. So I finished with Joel. I took my L1. Finished my L1 and, wasn't going to be the certification girl because that's where I was in the CrossFit space. Like, I got to get every certification under my belt because that'll make me good enough, So I was really aware of that going into this process, but I also knew that the exposure to it and the ability to hone this craft was going to allow me to create a future in this direction. And so I took my L2 and then I can't even remember how the L3, but it was like one right after the other. I knew I wanted to keep going all the way through this. And so at this point, I think it's September that I'll finally be done with the L3. Mm-hmm. But all these pieces led up to this. And I really do believe that shifting my confidence and my belief in myself and working through these stories got me to this place. I think had I not done the work, I would still be spinning in the same stories and the same disbelief and I'm not good enough. And, I'm never going to be able to put myself first or put my family first. I love coaching. I don't want that to be misconstrued. I've always loved being a CrossFit coach and I liked being a CrossFit owner. I didn't love being a CrossFit owner. And to be able to shift into a place where I can just come and support and love on the clients and do what I'm best at. Like it's like fate. It's like everything was, it was perfect. Meeting you guys was the highlight of my year. This has been amazing. And I'm so grateful to you guys. But it really, truly, I feel aligned with the people that are in my circle now. I feel like I'm home. I feel like I'm where I belong.
Oh God, we mic drop on that one. I love that. I love to hear that. And gosh, something that you said really stood out of like, I could just, you liked being the owner, right? But that you could just get back to like what you were really passionate about, like being in your magic, just coming in and just like doing the thing. And like, I think, your personal testimony with that shows, and that's where that passion like came from, right? And it's now I get to do this for so many other women, and I get to move out of like, okay, this was cool. This served me for this time. And now I get to transition. And that's beautiful in itself because it's a really big permission slip for a lot of people who stay where they are because they tell themselves that they can't. And we're just, God, so aligned. We're so freaking happy that it worked out this way and that you're here and that anyone listening, if you get the opportunity to work with Coach Drea, like, fuck, you're lucky. You're one of the lucky ones. So
thank you.
Drea, how would you describe your unique coaching style? Like as you crafted it along the way?
I think that I have the ability, like I said, that connection, that ability to connect with people. I have not had a lot of difficulty getting people to share their stories with me early into their journeys. And I'm grateful for that. I don't know what it is about me that they lean into that. But because they're willing to be so vulnerable right away, we're able to tackle a lot of the sticky stories pretty quickly in. I'm very in tune with the method, the 4-step method, tried and true. It's a part of every single one of my sessions, because it's the magic works, right? It's so flawless in its execution. It's been the thing that's allowed me to move through my stories and see through the opposite side. But I also like to integrate nervous system regulation. Like, where's our breath? Where's our body? And I know some of the girls pull in some really cool methodologies with their coaching. I don't have any expertise in any of that, but I have the method. So we're just very, I don't even know how to explain that, just very basic in my coaching style. But I give them the space to really be heard, the time to work through their stories, to come to the conclusions and the answers on their own without feeling like I've got to nudge them or prod them into a certain space, and being able to hold that for them, being able to allow themselves to feel emotion and cry and hold that space well for them, so that they learn that they don't have to apologize when there's tears and that they can feel the feelings. I think I hold that space well for them.
Yeah,
I think it's just providing that stability.
Yeah, that's
that earthy fire combo about you. Like, they're gonna feel the earth of like, yeah, you're held here. You can just open it right up.
Yeah, my last client, she said something along the lines of like, I just want to lay down and take a nap after I'm done with you. She's like, not because it's boring, but because I feel like so relaxed and comfortable and at ease when I'm done. And I'm like, that's perfect. That's exactly. I want you to feel so comfortable and safe with me, so seen, that you know that you've got this rock that's carrying you through these challenging, hard stories that you're about to walk through.
Yeah, because how many spaces are these women in where they feel like they can actually fully downregulate, right? Where they can actually put the fucking armor down and be like, oh, like I can be held in this space, right?
Yeah.
Rarely.
Right.
Rarely, or even have someone like let them know, like, I got you through this, like whatever it needs to be, however you need to be, show up, express, whatever. It's like, okay, like someone's got you and you can receive that. I think that's so hard for women to even allow themselves to receive it or to give themselves permission to like open up in that way.
Yeah.
So
it's a different kind of I got you, right? It's not
I'm not going to do it for you, but
well, it's I got you without expectations. I got you without needing something on the other side of it. I got you. It's the unattached presence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, maybe it's even like with the words, it's not I got you specifically, but like you're held here, like you're supported, you're like, I'm providing you the safe container so that you could just be whatever you need to be.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. God, so good. So good. I want you to think back to, we ask all the coaches that we've had on thus far this, and it's honestly one of my favorite when Laken and I interviewed each other in the first couple episodes. God, that feels so long ago now. But can you think back to your most challenging time, a challenging time in your life, this version of you? What would be advice or something that you would tell her now?
Oh gosh. Don't be so quick to feel like you've got to stuff it all down and take care of everybody else above yourself. Like, it's okay to feel, it's okay to cry, it's okay to sit in the story and, look at the different lenses and the different angles. People didn't come to intentionally hurt you. I think there were definitely some spots in my life where I very much put myself in the victim role, and they did that to me. Like, stay curious about people. Like, if I could have known that in my 20s and all the way through, right? Like, stay curious. Be willing to ask the question, what's making that person respond that way? But more importantly, what's making me respond this way? Let me sit with that for a little bit. Let me stay curious about what's going through my head, being in touch with my body, understanding that all of this, when we're trying to stuff it down and we're trying to hide it away, manifests itself in totally different areas. And learning to be like, I can be so intuitive about so many other things, but I can't be intuitive about what's happening in my own body because I'm not listening. And to learn to listen trust my body, right? Yeah, like, this weird knee pain that happened 6 months after my dad died and didn't go away and shows itself every anniversary. That's really weird.
Is it on the right knee?
It is my right knee. Yes.
Weird. On your masculine side.
so bizarro.
Yes. But like, just love yourself. Be okay to trust yourself. Listen to yourself. Give yourself the space to feel and to be, right? Just to be, who are you? And love that person, love that version, because that version is going to change in your 20s and your 30s and your 40s. And now I'm sure that's going to shift when I turn 50, and it's okay. And love that person fully in every one of those, those decades and transitions of life.
Yeah. And she's
love her while you got her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Seriously.
Dre, what are you most excited about in the future?
Maybe like this year alone.
Oh gosh, this year is, being able to help take care of my family. I've taken care of my family as the nurturer and the mother in a lot of ways, but really feeling like I'm contributing in a different way to my household because the shift is different. The career is different. Being present more, no matter how many boundaries you try to set up in the CrossFit space, it was hard to keep those boundaries. I'm very much inclined to pick up a text at 10 o'clock at night or midnight or whenever the random hours that people decide to text, because I want to love on them and I want to care for them. And knowing like, I don't need to be available at 5 o'clock in the morning all the way until 10 o'clock at night. I'm available from this time to this time. And my family and I deserve to have that peace and spend time together and take care of each other. I have a kiddo who we found out has dyslexia. And so we're learning so much about that journey for him and supporting him in that. And to know that I can come and be fully present with him at the end of my day and give him what he needs and what he wants in all of this. And to have time for myself. Like, it really, truly, I'm like, what am I going to do when I'm not coaching? It's silly, but I've had some mornings where my schedule has allowed me to be home and going into the garage and getting a 30-minute workout in on my own. I didn't have to drive anywhere. I didn't have to go anywhere. And come back in and freshen up, and I'm rejuvenated and excited for the next session. And I can cook some meals at home, and it just feels really peaceful, and it feels like my cup is being filled again. And that feels really good right now.
Yeah, when you're able to like increase your own capacity when you take care of yourself in that way, creating that space.
Yes, that has been much neglected over the last 15 years.
Yeah. You dropped a little nugget earlier about the fact that you are the oldest daughter.
Yeah.
Right. And I was wondering, I was like, is our entire team oldest daughters?
Team is oldest daughters.
I think every single coach within TGM may be an eldest daughter. We'll have to fact check that. But
I know. I'm like, is Melissa? I can't remember. I think everyone else is for sure.
Yeah, we'll have to double check. But I think that might be the case, which is pretty not consequential at all.
Yeah, not consequential at all. The job title we didn't sign up for, but we got anyway.
That's right.
Yes.
Fun little tidbit, and I know that we talked about this, like when you first came in, like when we like are all introducing ourselves, and I just want to put it on here for the record. I'm like, I need to look up your human design, but that Taurus sun, that Virgo moon, like there was at one point when you're talking, and in my head, I'm like, your Virgo moon is showing, right? Like what with the space you hold for these women, and then God, the Sagittarius rising, like you really are the perfect, like, compilation of like that earthy fire combo that just, I mean, like that full sends it on herself, and that just also shows that like for other women that's possible. And we're just so honored to have you a part of our team, have you in our world, and for anyone that gets to work with you, yes, they're like You have a dope ass coach, right? She's going to lead you. You need to be able to be willing to drink, right? But she got you. And, we're honored. We're honored that you took the time to chat with us and just share your story. Is there anything else that you want to share with our listeners, or share with any maybe of your clients that are listening, or anything that you want to round us out with today?
Well, first of all, so much gratitude and appreciation really to you guys and allowing me to fill a part in this team. I feel so aligned with the journey, and what you guys have created is incredible. You are helping so many women, and that impact is powerful. And I'm glad I get to play a small role in that. For the people out there who are considering mindset coaching or are doing mindset coaching, or maybe you're like, I don't know what this whole thing is about. I'm not sure. Lean into it and trust it and allow yourself to get through the uncomfortable, because on the opposite side, it's transformational. And I know that is also a buzzword, but I am not the same person that I was 2 years ago.
Facts.
And to be on the and I'm not going to be the same person 2 years from now that I am today, but that feels like real growth, and that feels like potential, and like I'm stepping into my purpose and who I'm supposed to be. And that's a really, really great feeling. And I love that we as a team are able to come in and help women discover that and find their purpose.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. And there is no small contribution. We are a small team, and you are a major contribution, as is everybody on the team. And we appreciate you for that very much. So
yes, equally. God, we're so happy to have you. Thank you so much for your time today. And we will see you guys in the next episode.
Yes.
Else, like?
Please, ladies, if you are watching this on YouTube, come here. Subscribe. Lean in. Please subscribe, right? It really, really helps us out a lot. If you are on Spotify, make sure that you rate this individual episode. If you are on Apple Podcasts, please make sure that you rate the show. Hit us with those 5 stars. It makes a huge difference. So please, and thank you. It means the world to us. It costs nothing for you. And give Dre her flowers. We want to know if you like these episodes, or we're bringing coaches and other guests on, or if you ever get tired of just me and C just yapping about shit, right? So like give Dre her flowers. Please reach out if you are interested in coaching and working with her. We would love to continue to flood her with clients who she is making a huge impact with. And we will catch you guys in the next episode.
Yeah, Dre, before we go, can you let people know how they can find you or stay connected with you, or like follow more with your journey with what they've heard today?
Right now, Coach Dre on Instagram, or my mindset page on Instagram it's long. Mind Shift from Chaos to Clarity.
Love it. That's okay. They need to know where to go. We got to send them. So thank you.
We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes. And thank you guys again for tuning in. We'll see you in the next episode.
See ya.
Bye.